here we are. This is going to be a quarterfinal match, the first one of today. It's the sixth Sunday Cup of the winter season here in 2014, and we're going to be live with nothing as the classic, indeed.
Invalid password.
So to explain that, what happened is Plazma had executed a config recently which had a /password set to something, and of course that is not the password that the server was set to, so it booted him. And people who have passwords in their configs, please don't. Remove that from your config. There's no need to have it there.
I wonder if you can write like a little script that, like maybe you first spawn and then you like get kicked. So you could make a script, and if you have a spawn you don't like, you just set a password and then you get kicked.
But here we go for reals this time, as Ash manages to get himself a mega spawn.
Oh, surprise! A rail spawn for Plasma. Who could have thought? That's definitely conspiracy.
There you go. Ash, he wants that yellow, but will Plasma let him have it? Looks like he's going to try to rail.
What's Ash doing?
This is a really weird spot for Ash to try to fight.
It seemed like he wasn't aware that Plasma was there. He just jumped forwards and then jumped backwards and then forwards again. He didn't realize Plasma was there railing him, but Plasma missed all shots. So, good result for Ash. Nice trap. Very nice trap for Plasma. And this should be a frag, certainly. Why doesn't he carry on through the teleporter? That's what it looked like for a frag.
He's not manly enough.
And was he actually low? Like, it looks like he's just very scared. Red is spawning. Where is Plasma?
Oh dear, this
is just such a huge mistake. He must have severely overestimated the stack Ash had left after that fight.
Yep, stack prediction is incredibly important as far as a skill set goes in Duel. You got to be reading those stacks very well to inform you as to which decision is most optimal. And because of course you don't know what your opponent has, you don't see the number, got to guess. And here you go, Plasma's under assault, and Ash does gun him down. So it's 1-0 now, and this could get really bad, really fast for Plasma. That was pretty.
That is nice, and red is up, so he's gonna have something to work with. And actually, the stacks are gonna be even. Now Ash should look to defend the weapons. And in particular, the LG is a very key weapon here, I feel. Like, the rail is just kind of hard to defend. There are two ways you can get it from, and both are kind of hidden, so you can really control them very well. But the LG is just so far out in the open. Usually it's something that you can get many frags with. Ash didn't really look towards it, so you gotta imagine Plasma's already gotten it.
And Plasma, that was a really interesting choice there. Why do you think he switched to rail? He like saw Ash dropping down into his face. His instincts. When in doubt, switch to rail. That's going to be a mistake. 3-0.
There's been actually one instinct that I had as well that I've been working very hard to get rid of, and I think like recently I wouldn't switch to rail in that position anymore. But of course, it's like when you're a rail heavy player, it's so intuitive. It's like the weapon you can rely on in most situations. So you just switch to it, and Plasma hit the shots. I think it's just that it's. Like, even if you hit the shots, it's just not the weapon for the situation.
Yeah, you get 80 damage, then you die. It's like,
Of course, Rockets would have been the right decision.
Yeah. And looks like Plasma going to try to catch Ash with another little ambush. Of course, you're so correct.
This was working so well for him, and now he gets a frag. Like, second time he set the exact same trap in principle. Like, just have Ash jumped into him when he has LG out, and
exactly. The first time was so good. The time where you're kind of saying, why doesn't he follow up? That was a really well-timed trap too. Can he make this into a tie game though? He does have a lot of work to do, and this could go well. He does catch Ash.
Nice
Great rocket. Can he finish it? He's gonna have to back away.
Oh, the red is not gonna go to him. So. I would have challenged for it. I think it was very crucial to try to challenge for it. Just you gotta take your chances, even if you were maybe at the disadvantage positionally. It just feels wrong to not go for it.
Running out rockets and has to rely on the rail. Connects, but it's not enough. And Ash very patient to wait for. I don't know whether he's counting the rockets of Plasma, or because some players do actually count rockets to see when you're gonna.
Yeah, I think you'd only really count them at the beginning of the game. Like when it's during a game, there's no way you count rockets. You can't never ever know if your opponent picked something up twice off the spawn, or maybe from his last life. It's not realistic to count them. But on the first spawn, it happens. Like in some particular situation, it counts.
Nice rocket there from Ash. Plasma doesn't seem so impressed with it though, as 6-1, and Ash is looking very sturdy. Another good rail connected as Plasma tries to get himself out of the mega position. He's going to be able to do that, but the damage was done by Ash, who's now kind of trapped at the yellow. This is a good spot for Plasma to do damage, and he does get the kill as well. So looking at the red spawning, Plasma could turn this all around, but he's got to survive this freshly spawned Ash, and he does it.
Nice.
Needs some new cells though for his lightning gun. Got to be careful these rockets.
Ooh, that was so close. And is he gonna get the frag?
Oh, he lands in the water.
9 HP. And where will Ash spawn? If Ash spawns close enough, he might just get the return frag. Plasma, what are you doing?
He's getting quite aggressive. That was so funny he landed in the water, because had he not done that, the one bullet that Ash hit on him would have actually killed him, because he would have had like 4 health or something. But there you go. Plasma does survive, and he's closer to a 2-score deficit. And oh my god, he's playing with fire, and he
Plasma
does get
actually
burned.
made a big mistake. Like after that one frag, he had enough time to get the mega and get back to the red, and instead he just did something weird. I don't know what he was trying. He went to the yellow first, like, then realized that he's no place at the yellow, then returned to the mega, and then he was too late for the red. So he all of a sudden he just had starting stack, where instead he could have had position at the red, probably gotten it. He could have had maybe still an even stack with Ash. So very crucial mistake in my opinion. And another frag for Ash. 7-3.
There you go, 4 minutes left. Ash is gonna try to do his best to keep this this momentum going. And there's the red armor up on the spot. Rockets raining down. Ash taking some hits, but it's fine. He's always gonna try to double back a little bit there for the health. Catching a nice rocket onto Plasma, trying to force him away from this mega. But he just won't quite leave, and he has another jump rail and a third drop rail, and just walks in and does the 4th to finish it off.
Now the red. Go to the red, Plasma. If he gets it, it's all possible. Very nice.
The story of Plasma. And here you go. Trying to land more damage, but doesn't come just yet. It's picking Ash out of the air there. And
one more rail would do it. I'm almost sure this should be enough. But he's backing away. And this is, I think, the 3rd time, if I counted right, where it's a position where both players are roughly equally low, and one item is in contention, and the Plasma just backs away. Like, he's the one to always back away to take the safe way out. Which is, I mean, in some positions he might have died, in some positions he might have made a frag, but when you're behind, I think you're not the one who should really be going out of these fights. When it's a 50-50 fight, just stay in and take it. You're the one who has to make something happen.
And this rocket, that was really nice dodging there from Ash. Try to throw off the rockets of Plasma. It does so effectively and catches a couple frags off the spawn. Plasma trying to do the last couple rockets to try to finish him off, but he cannot do it because Ash is flying through the air. And we're closing into 2 minutes remaining. And Plasma's going to be starting to think about Furious Heights, the next map.
You know, 5 minutes. It could have... At 5 minutes, I think it was a very close game, maybe 6-4. Now it's just starting to get away from Plasma. He had chances, and I really think that the key moment was when they were both at the red. I think the score was 6-4 or 6-3 perhaps. And Plasma hit 2 railguns. One more would have made the frag, and he just decided not to look for it. I mean, he would have also died to 1 rail. But it's just such a classical 50-50% position where, you know, Ash just had the bigger balls, I guess, in that position. And Ash stayed and Plasma ran away, and Ash had control. And that's where he got all of the next frags from.
Indeed. 13-5 now as Ash roams Cure. There is Plasma jumping around, but what can he do? Nothing is the answer. He is done, and it looks like Ash is going to take his map choice, Cure. As we have a last fight. Can Plasma win this one? Nope.
So in one of the bets, you already cannot win.
Indeed.
Haha.
But if Ash
Nice.
wins 2-0, then on winning Furious Heights, then I've at least win one of the bets. Or win.
That's all still going according to plan.
15-5 there. Ash takes down Cure. He has now to take down Furious Heights, or if you're Plasma, you got to be thinking about staying alive, and that is going to mean a phenomenal performance on Furious Heights, because nothing short of that will be enough to be victorious against Ash, who is a very good Furious Heights player.
I don't know, like, certainly a good player on every map. But if you compare the maps, I think Furious Heights is not one of his strongest suits, where it is Plasma's best, absolute best map. So, I mean, if I had to make a prediction, like, what percentage for who to win, I would say 50-50. Like, Ash is generally the better player, but this is Plasma's best map.
3, 2, 1.
So here we go on Plasma as he starts off. And, this is going to be the split. Mega
Yeah.
LG versus the Red Rail.
Wow, such aggression. And Ash is really being so ballsy. Wow, he should have really died then. That was so... What is he doing? This is just crazy.
I
Like,
think I know what he's doing. I think what he's thinking there is that I know if Plasma misses 1 or 2 rails that he dies and I take control and I win the game.
that
think
just
he's-
made
think-
no sense.
I think he's like thinking like along those lines, because it's kind of like I'm rushing down a railer mentality where like you missed a shot and that's you're dead sort of thing. That's what I saw at least.
Yeah, I mean, in principle, of course, but like in that position, like no good player would ever do that unless you really think your opponent is much worse. And you know, that was just like, you get the impression Ash just doesn't take Plasma very seriously. Like, that was just nonsensical. He took 2 rails and he just kept on pushing. And before that as well, Plasma just missed very easy shots. He doesn't expect somebody to do stuff like that. But of course it worked. 2-0. Great for Ash. And that is 3-0. Of course, Plasma a bit low. Ash is a bit low, excuse me, but he's very fortunate Plasma didn't spawn in the Mega Room, so Ash is doing just fine again, and he's 3-0 lead so early, very, very good.
And Plasma will fall again, and he's having a very tough time right now. So I mean, what is Plasma to do? What is going wrong for him? You're saying Ash is doing things that he kind of shouldn't be doing. So how can Plasma take advantage of him?
Well, for once, just like that. I think the reason this worked so great in the last game, those traps we've discussed, where he just caught him with LG, when Ash was just storming full on onto him. You know, that was the perfect counter. I think that is something he has to look to do. No, Ash right now is he's just rushing with LG, pretty much. He's just grabbing LG and he's jumping very fast. So if Ash is there prepared with LG to catch him, jumping into him, that could be very effective, or similarly with rockets. So far in a lot of those encounters, Plasma has the railgun out, which is kind of his trademark, and which is also something that well, it's a strength, of course. It's something that separates him from other players. But I just not good in that position, of course, unless you hit all of them. You just said, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to tell a rail player to not use rail, because of course there's a reason he's such a rail heavy player. It's his best weapon. He hits much more with it than with other weapons.
Oh man, Plasma dropped down to the little rafter and then realized that, oh, Ash spawned the shotgun. I'm screwed.
Well, he was screwed either way. He just couldn't get down without taking fall damage, I think. Maybe very, very complicated. Tricky jump onto the edges.
And 6-1.
But yeah, I mean, he's a rail heavy player. It's his best weapon. Would you tell him just don't use rail? I mean, even then he might be a weaker version of Ash if he just starts using all the weapons, except he's going to be worse with rockets, he's going to be worse with LG, and the one weapon he's actually better with, he's not going to be using. So, I mean, in reality what he has to do is use the rail, but use it better, predict Ash better, not get caught out in by all these attacks, but rather be prepared, be aware of where he might be coming from, predict rail shots so that he's actually holding it out before he is already getting LG'd. And you know, then he can win the game. But Basically what we're asking him to be is just a better player. You just need to be a little bit better. You need to have a little bit more game sense, a little bit more experience.
And the Rockets to bounce Plasma around 8-2 as they trade. And the problem for Plasma is himself at this point. He's getting frustrated, so he's got to make sure that he keeps himself cool. I know that I'm sure many know that he can get quite emotional as well. I'm sure you've experienced that, Twister.
Yeah, he gets emotional in practice games. I've never seen him actually emotional in tournament games. I think he's able to focus himself when he has to. But this is really, really hard game for him because Ash is... from Plasma's perspective, Ash is just playing wrong. He's playing stupid. He's doing these stupid things, stupid attacks that shouldn't work. And they just keep working. That's just so frustrating.
5-minute warning.
I think everybody knows it from experience, just playing over aggressive players. What feels to you like over aggression, and might actually just be pure calculation from Ash. He knows Plasma is always, ready to switch to the railgun. So from his perspective, it's very smart to just rush at him from with OG. But Plasma just feels why does he do this?
Yeah,
if only I had a different weapon, he would die. So.
There we go. Bit of a flick rail there from Plasma as he tries to go around, catches Ash with another one, looking for the third and finishing shot. No, it won't finish him. He hits the third one though. There it is, and that's how Plasma does it. And now it's just a question of picking up this Mega and sweeping on down really quickly to that red arm. We can see it spawning instantly.
Yeah, he's not aware. He's not timing.
And he's too unaware. 6 frags though are very doable in 4 minutes. Nice little rail as Ash traverses the upper pillars there. Can he make his way to the position of Ash?
Usually for rail-heavy players, this is the best map. It's a map where you can rail while not being subject to quick attacks. Just because if you stand in the center and somebody attacks you, you would hear it from a big distance. And so it's not a problem to just stand there and get frags. But LG there, not a rail frag. Nice to see from Plasma, and leaving Ash very low off the spawn. So if I was him, I would just stay in the center up top. Because then I probably wouldn't get this frag that he's about to get.
Yeah, he's just going for it. YOLO mode from Plasma as he goes 4 on his deficit now, so he's really closing up the gap.
Yeah, it's just 4 frags. This is actually still very doable, and perhaps Ash got a little bit overconfident with this early lead he had, and 10-3 or what was it? Maybe he already felt like he won this game because he didn't yet. And the second rail would maybe kill him. Third would certainly kill him. Nice. And there's 3 frags to go red now. Is Plasma aware? And Plasma is gonna miss out on the red again, unfortunately. Maybe deal some damage at the yellow. This would be ideal for him right now. Nice. And I think Plasma is starting to get a hang out of it. Out of Ash's attacks and getting better at predicting them. Like in this situation, usually you might just after you hit the first rail look for the second one, but he already knew Ash is so aggressive he will go through the telly, so he just took a step back, went behind the corner, and Ash just kind of played into his hands there. So maybe Plasma now starting to adjust, and you just gotta ask if it's maybe a little bit too late. There's still time on paper.
And here we go, we got 10-7, we've got another fight breaking out here, and Plasma's got this LG trying to catch Ash, who's dodging on that bridge, can't quite do it. Ash survives. Rockets to protect him, and there goes the red, and what a rail from Ash. Doesn't connect the pixel on the second one, but still, he's done a really good job, and he should be able to defend this Mega without too many problems. Unless he gets a couple rails straight away, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Or is it?
Nice. This was important for Plasma, and this still isn't over. This is a very, very strong attack, and this should surely be a frag for Plasma. There we go, 3 frags to go. And Plasma has full control. Now, this becomes now a game of raids. You just, if you're Ash, you just gotta guess where Plasma will go and not go there, and on the opposite hand, Plasma will have to guess. For his sake, this should again be a frag. Let's see. Ash is very low. One rail to finish him, surely. Just go through, Plasma, come on. He just has to go for it right now. What is...
Trying to
This
just
is,
wait
this
him
is
out. And
so heartbreaking.
it's really intense. A lot of timing wasted there. Plasma can't quite jump. He's going to go for it. Just
Oh no,
missing the shot.
This is it, but this is wow. I mean, he had 25 LG cells, so he probably thought that it wouldn't be enough to finish Ash off. Of course, if he had used LG, and if he could have used LG, this would have been not even a question. Would he just come through and frag them? But because he felt like he couldn't use LG, he just suddenly you're below your opponent and you're trying to use rockets and rail, and of course. I mean, with those two weapons from below, you're not gonna do much damage. So he was kind of stuck, and which is why I was just waiting for him. Come on, go through, right? Because from below, he's certainly not gonna make anything happen if he goes through. Maybe Ash hits some crazy rockets and he dies, but in this kind of situation, you have to take the risk. It's not even a question. It's not even a matter of thinking about it. Just go through.
So there we go in the closing moments. It's going to be Ash who is victorious 12-8. Unfortunately, this is the end of the road for Plasma as Ash will go through. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was closer with my prediction because he almost won T7, right?
Sure,
I gotta admit.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, he did well. Ash, I reckon, like, was it last week that he really pushed? Was it either Cypher or Evil, who won like a really, really close game? I don't remember who of them it was, but
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Ash is like, you know, if you have Cypher and Evil right now, the two top dogs, Ash is maybe slightly below, like just 10% off. So for Plasma to go so close is not a bad result.
Indeed. So, guys, stay tuned for more duels here on FACEIT TV for our Sunday.